The first thing you'll notice about America's new tank is that it doesn't growl, it hums. On the test track, a 70-ton Predator glides into view, and for a second, your brain forgets what it's seeing. The silhouette says Abrams, but the sound says stealth. Then the gun levels, the turret snaps with digital crispness, and the Earth remembers. This is the M1E3 Pathfinder, the US Army's next leap in heavy armour. Lighter, stealthier, and built to survive a battlefield that now buzzes with drones and burns with smart munitions. It's not just an upgrade, it's a reboot. And it's legitimately insane in all the right ways. How did we get here? The Army looked at the M1A2 SEP V4, the more of everything plan, and hit the brakes. After 4 decades of bolting on power, sensors, and armour, the Abrams had reached a hard truth. Every new capability came with a penalty in weight, heat, and maintenance. So in September 2023, the service killed SEP V4 and greenlit a radical modernization called the M1E3. The marching orders were simple and hard. Make it lighter, make it more efficient, and design it like a smartphone. Modular, upgradable, and easy to swap parts and software. Think less hot rod and more platform. That decision wasn't made in a vacuum. The war in Ukraine has been a brutal test for every assumption about tanks. Cheap FPV drones peck at armour from above. Smart mines lurk where roads pinch. Units stretch out to avoid artillery, then compress again to punch through. The old answer, just add more armour, has a floor and a ceiling, and the ceiling was starting to groan. The M1E3 is the Army's answer, and it starts by trimming bulk and shrinking the sustainment burden so armour can move, hide, and fight in a world where anything that idles too long gets spotted and swarmed. In January 2026, we finally got a first look at the Army's early M1E3 demonstrator and learned that testing is about to kick off. This isn't a CGI tease, it's hardware, with the Army openly confirming the shift to a lighter weight, hybrid electric concept and an architecture meant to accept tech like we plug in apps. It's a tank built for continuous upgrade cycles, not giant once-a-decade refits, and that alone is a generational change. If you want the backstory in one quote, Major General Glenn Dean said the quiet part out loud when the program launched. The Abrams couldn't keep growing without getting heavier, and the Army needed to cut its logistical footprint. The M1E3 will be more survivable, lighter, and easier to upgrade in the future. Translation: weight is the enemy, and Moore's law beats more steel. Now, let's talk guts. The M1E3's core philosophy is modular, from armor arrays to electronics to the way its protection layers can be swapped. Under the hood, a hybrid electric power system promises 2 things tankers crave: silent watch and fuel savings. Silent watch means the crew can run sensors and radios without the turbine screaming a heat signature into the sky. The hybrid gives you that, plus short, silent mobility bursts. On paper, we're talking up to 50% fuel savings compared to legacy setups, which is not just green, it's strategically mean. Every gallon saved is a gallon that doesn't have to move across a mined road in range of a quadcopter with a grenade. If you're enjoying this video, hit that like and subscribe button right now. If that sounds familiar, it's because the technology demonstrator that previewed much of this, the Abrams X, telegraphed the play in 2022. Lighter hull, hybrid drive, reduced crew with more automation, big gains in thermal and acoustic signature, and an electronic backbone built to accept new sensors and effectors as they mature. Abrams X was the proof of concept. M1E3 is the program of record born from those ideas. And no, the Army hasn't promised every sizzle reel feature will show up on day one, but the vector is set. Weapon-wise, the M1E3 is a pragmatist. The 120mm remains king, and the US is doubling down on smarter ammunition, rather than chasing caliber for caliber's sake. The blockbuster here is the M1147 AMP round, which entered full-rate production in January 2025. One round replaces 4 legacy types. The fuse can be set to point detonate, delay, or airburst, and it gives crews the ability to SWAT ATGM teams behind cover, breach reinforced concrete, and shred infantry with precise airbursts, all without swapping ammo families. It's like handing the gunner a Swiss Army knife that fits the same chamber. Pair AMP with the M1A2 kinetic dart for tank-on-tank slugfests, and you get a magazine that hits everything that matters without overcomplicating the load plan. Protection is the other half of the story. The M1E3 is designed to bake in an integrated active protection system, rather than bolt one on as an afterthought. Earlier Abrams brigades have already seen the Israeli-made trophy system in service. M1E3's architecture aims to make an APS part of the tank's nervous system from the start, not a strapped-on accessory. In practical terms, that means faster reaction loops against missiles and drones, cleaner power and sensor integration, and the ability to upgrade soft kill and hard kill options as the threat evolves. When your enemies are dropping bomblets off quadcopters and sending loiterers on kamikaze runs, integrated isn't a buzzword, it's survival. That phrase, as the threat evolves, is doing a lot of work. The front in Ukraine changes monthly. Countermeasures arrive, the other side adapts, and the cycle restarts. Analysts at RUSI documented how vehicles are being dug in, netted, and jammed to ride out FPV waves, while Reuters gave us a close-up of Russia's welded barn tanks, basically metal sheds on tracks, to absorb top attack and drone drops. It's a constant Darwinian churn. M1E3's answer is not to predict every trick. It's to make the tank a platform that can ingest new sensors, jammers, and weapons without a ground-up rebuild. That's what a modular open systems approach, MOSA, actually buys on a bad day. So what's real today versus a lab poster? The Army's own Congressional Research Service brief lays out the near-term plan. Move away from incremental SEP V4, pursue a lighter, more power-efficient Abrams that can host an autoloader and even an unmanned turret down the line. Integrate APS from the start, and pair the tank with robotic teammates. Prototypes and pre-prototypes began arriving in late 2025, with more to enter units for soldier touchpoints through 2026. That schedule matters, not just because we all want a cool new tank, but because soldier feedback in 2026 informs what ships in the early 2030s. Speed to learning beats speed to PowerPoint. Let's pause on the turret, because that's where rumors always get spicy. The Abrams X demo showed an unmanned turret concept with a 3-person crew moved into the hull, autoloader handling the heavy lifting. The Army isn't committing to that exact layout for M1E3 on day one, but it is actively maturing autoloaders and the digital fire control plumbing to make an unmanned design viable. For the tanker who's ever thrown rounds at 3 AM in mop gear, that's the kind of automation you welcome with a hug. It's also a survivability play, moving human beings away from the hottest part of the vehicle, reducing turret profile and freeing volume for APS, sensors, and armor. Energy is the unsung star. Tanks don't just shoot and scoot, they think, sense, network, and sometimes sit and stare for hours. That burns fuel and radiates heat. A hybrid drivetrain means commanders can run the full suite of sights, RF emitters, and digital tools in a low signature mode, and still punch out quietly if a drone swarm gets too curious. It also makes the resupply math friendlier. Fewer fuel convoys mean fewer targets on roads that have become deadly conveyor belts. As one industry brief put it, current range demands can be met with half the fuel burn, and that ripple saves lives and budget far from the front. Mobility isn't just speed, it's the paths you can take. The M1E3's weight goals, while not officially locked, aim to peel off tons so more bridges become crossable, more rural routes become viable, and rail and air options widen. That's not glamour, that's options when the map turns red with no-go zones. If you've ever watched a brigade staff grimace at a 70-ton weight line on a bridge classification chart, You know shaving 10 tons is the difference between go around and go now. Let's talk lethality like adults. Big guns and darts are cool, but modern tank killing is as much about software as steel. The M1E3 is being architected as a software-first vehicle. Data fusion across 360-degree cameras, thermal sights, laser warners, acoustic arrays. AI assistance that flags threats and prioritizes targets before a human even blinks. And a fire control brain that speaks the same digital language as unmanned air and ground scouts. That last part, manned-unmanned teaming, is the tank's new best friend. Let the robots get curious and die brave. Let the Abrams finish the job from a survivable posture. The platform is being built to do exactly that. You know who else cares about software? Maintainers. The Abrams has always been the heavyweight champ of bring a motor pool, and the M1E3 is supposed to slim that down. A modular digital backbone means line-replaceable units you can yank and swap. Push updates over secure links, then validate with built-in test. That's aviation logic applied to armor, and it shortens the gap between we have a fix and the fix is on your tank. It's not sexy, but neither is waiting for a part your depot can't talk to. What about the ammunition picture in a drone threat world? The AMP round is tailor-made for this era. Program an airburst over trenches and tree lines to shred dismounts and ATGM teams. Choose delay to punch through walls and clear strongpoints. Or go point detonate to crater light armor. It's blunt realism. The tank's life isn't a parade of tank-on-tank duels. It's 90% using the main gun as a scalpel against whatever target type is ruining your platoon's day. AMP consolidates that toolkit into one cartridge, so crews don't spend precious seconds hunting for the right round when one versatile will do. And for the rare day you do meet steel head-on, that's what depleted uranium darts like M1A2 are for. The E3's 120mm will still spit a kinetic cyclops that solves armor problems the old-fashioned way: velocity and density. The real change is that it will do it from a platform with better signature management, better sensors to make first-round hits the norm, and active defenses to keep you alive long enough to take that shot. Survival to first shot, that's the real lethality metric. A quick reality check. No one's pretending the M1E3 will roll off lines tomorrow and replace every tank in the force. The Army still fields SEP V3s, foreign customers are getting fresh hulls, and the heavy industrial heartbeat of US armor, the Lima tank plant, remains the place where new and rebuilt Abrams are born. That plant is a national security asset as much as it is real estate. The only factory that makes Abrams, with investments flowing to keep it modern and capable. The E3 program keeps that line in business while steering it toward a more digital future. Cost and schedule always haunt new armor. Here, the Army is trying something smarter. Get soldier touchpoints early, field pre-prototypes, learn fast, and evolve the spec. CRS reporting shows prototypes started moving in 2025, and that 4 vehicles are slated to be in formations in 2026 for exactly that purpose. It's not perfectionism, it's iteration, which is how software and now tanks get better. Do tanks still matter? That's the million-dollar question every viral drone video tries to answer with a smirk. The US Army's reply is nuanced. The tank is not a soloist anymore. It's the heavy in a combined arms band. You clear routes with robots and sappers. You blind enemies' eyes with EW. You thin the herd with loitering munitions. And then the tank, bristling with sensors and backed by APS, rolls in and does something no other land system can do as reliably. Take punishment, deliver overwhelming, precise fire, and hold ground. The M1E3 is built for that choreography, not a solo. Let's zoom into a hypothetical. An armoured battalion stages at night. Overhead, small UAS orbit in radio silence, sending back thermal outlines. A drone team identifies an ATGM nest in a second-story room. The platoon commander pings it onto the network. A pair of E3s creep forward in hybrid silent mode, hull down behind a berm. The gunner programs AMP to airburst over the window, 1 round. The room disappears in sparkles. Laser warning pings. Their rangefinder caught you. APS hard kill cues arm. A missile launches from the tree line. The tank's radar tracks. The countermeasure pops like a steel clay pigeon. The crew never breaks cadence. Second tank shifts to delay fuse and hammers a breach hole. Infantry flows through. That's not sci-fi. That's exactly how the E3's design choices, hybrid, APS, programmable rounds, fused sensors, stack into tempo. Of course, nothing comes free. An autoloader trades a crewman for complexity. A hybrid trades mechanical inertia for software. APS must be maintained religiously, or it becomes dead weight. And digital architectures are only as good as their cybersecurity. The E3 bets that these trades are worth it, because the alternative is an armoured force that can't evolve at the speed of threats. The Army is explicitly building the E3 to be easier to upgrade than to overmatch on day one. That's humility and hubris in one sentence, and it's probably the only way to win the 2030s. There's also a strategic layer to lighter. The American way of war runs on logistics. Fuel convoys, bridge layers, tank transporters. They win wars and break budgets. Every ton shaved and every gallon saved is a gift to the Joint Force Commander. Hybrid drive reduces our fuel train vulnerability. Lighter tanks broaden rail and bridge options in Europe and the Pacific. Modular guts let you ship spares in crates instead of technicians in droves. It's easy to romanticize armor. The M1E3 quietly romanticizes the Fueler and the 91 series wrench. Now the fun part, jokes we can actually make about a tank. First, yes, the M1E3 will still ruin your day if you're a concrete wall with dreams. Second, no, it won't charge your phone. But the exportable power could probably juice a small concert if your platoon sergeant looked away for 5 minutes. Third, while hybrid silent mobility is great for sneaking, it sadly will not help you tiptoe past the motor sergeant on Monday morning. And fourth, if you're wondering whether the commander's independent thermal viewer will spot your bad haircut under a Kevlar, absolutely. Consider that a morale feature. Back to seriousness. The M1E3 is not about chasing the next YouTube moment. It's about ensuring the United States keeps a credible, adaptable fist in a world that punishes anything slow to change. The Army has accepted that battles are now software-defined, drone-haunted, and logistics-constrained. So it's building a tank that can live there, one that sips fuel, hides its heat, rewires itself through code, and throws smarter punches. It looks like an Abrams. It fights like tomorrow. If you want the bottom line, here it is. America's new tank is legitimately insane because it reinvents what new means. Not a heavier sequel, a modular platform designed to learn fast, shed pounds, and outthink threats as much as it outguns them. We don't need a beast that can lift more plates. We need a heavyweight that can dance. Will it work? We'll find out the honest way, in the hands of soldiers, on ranges that don't forgive buzzwords. Prototypes are here, touch points are imminent, and the industrial base in Ohio is humming. The Abrams legacy began in the Cold War, survived the desert, and now steps into the drone age. If the M1E3 delivers on even half of its promise, the message is simple. Reports of the tank's death were premature. The king is not dead. He just swapped the roar for a whisper, and then a thunderclap. So here's the question I'll leave you with. In a war where the first sensor to see is often the first shooter to win, what matters more, the thickness of your armor or the speed of your upgrades? The M1E3 bets on the latter. If it's right, the next time you hear that soft hum in the dark, you'll know what's coming, and you won't have long to think about it. Hit like and subscribe if you want more videos like this. Bye for now.